Hi guys, I'm Dom.
I'm Beck.
I'm Lotta.
And I'm Cam.
And you're listening to the Meandering Pod.
Join us as we travel overland from Australia to Europe, meandering through different continents, cultures, and conversations.
Welcome to our second group episode. We're a bunch of beans travelling from Australia to Europe. The aim of the game is no flying, using any other mode of transport available.
Along the way, we'll be exploring the places we are travelling through on this podcast, from culture to politics to history to energy to bugs. Every Wednesday, we'll have a deep dive for you on a weird and wonderful topic, and every month or so, we'll have a chatty episode where we just discuss our experiences and the trouble we've gotten into.
We're also sometimes giving you bonus episodes on Mondays.
So, come join us on a little meander. So guys, where the hell are we?
Guys, we are on a boat, but we're no longer sailing. We've made it to Indonesia.
We were in the ocean between Australia and Indonesia, but now we are in Indonesia.
We were sailing through the Timor Sea, and it was a pretty shallow ocean, and then the Indian Ocean had got really deep, and then the Flores Sea, and now we're here.
Last group episode we were in Broome, and then in between then we continued our van relocation from Broome through the top end of WA into Nitmillark National Park into Darwin, where we spent about a week with our friend's mum, got on the boat with Jan, and then we started sailing.
I should also say, last time we mentioned that we were doing the relocation car, but we didn't actually say how we did that. So the website is iMover.com if you want to do a relocation. And also, we forgot to say how we found Jan, which was crewbay.com. So
basically, It's like a social media, or not a social media, but like a find a crew,
Online forum.
find a skipper website where you can advertise from either end and like link up to find a boat or a crew.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about the sailing.
Alrighty, well, we arrived about 3 days ago now, and we spent around 7 days on the ocean in between Darwin and Lombok. First 2 days, not so good. Not a lot of wind. However, it was super beautiful, and also I think a very calm introduction for some of the crew who didn't have the most strong stomachs. So,
almost like a bit of an, what would you say, an ego death for me, thinking that I was going to be super strong on my sea legs, and then I was like lying on the couch feeling super ill for the first few hours.
The first half an hour when we were no longer in the marina, Beck was like close to spewing.
Yeah.
Rough.
And then I just started taking the Phenergan, which is like a strong sickness medication, and I was fine again.
Yeah, but Cam roughed it.
I definitely roughed it. So like Dom said, the first couple of days, there was no wind, no waves. So unfortunately, we were just basically motoring, barely able to sail using the motors. Every now and then we could turn them off, put the sails up, or sometimes do a combination. But for the most part, we were motoring, unfortunately. But the flip side of that was that the sea was quite calm, so I was able to do things. And as we got really nice wind and we started to motor along.
Sail along.
Sail, true. We started to sail along. I struggled with that a little bit in my belly. And it makes you really tired, like kind of having the motion all the time
We
and
were
feeling
all
a bit queasy.
so tired. And like we had night shift. So we did shift between 8 and 12 p.m. and then 4 and 8 a.m. every day.
With the son Felix doing the hero shift in the middle.
Of 12 till 4, because I think it would have broken all of us. We were struggling enough. Well, we weren't really struggling, but we were so tired. Like I think just being on the boat, the constant micro movements, and then having changing hours where you need to kind of stay up and watch the boat.
yeah, I think I was getting definitely 9+ hours every night, plus like a nap. And like 80% of the time was leisure time anyway, so.
I was absolutely embracing the nap lifestyle for the first time in my life. I could just like fall asleep like that. Also, so easy to sleep with like the boat rocking you to sleep like a baby. It's amazing.
It was so nice.
Yeah, so the actual sailing, we're on the catamaran, which you would have
Is
seen on
a
our
boat with 2 hulls.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And which you can also see if you follow Jan on YouTube, which we will have in the show notes because he does lots of cool drone videos. So on this sick catamaran, it's got like trampolines in the front where you can lie. So it's got a big mainsail and a couple of sails at the front, which we now know are called Genoa and a code 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we have the trade winds pick up on the 3rd or 4th day, which are the winds that go from east to west, kind of around that latitude south of Indonesia. They carry you along, and we had a huge parasail up, which was so sick. It kind of goes across in either direction, and you just got the wind behind you pushing you along, and it was the sickest thing ever.
If you imagine like a really big parachute pulling your boat.
It's like the opposite of a parachute because you're like going kind of down and this way is like forward. Does that make sense?
But it's a parachute.
Nice and confusing for the listener.
Yeah.
That sounded better in my head.
But yeah, so if you imagine, usually when you're sailing, you want to be at an angle to the wind, because if the wind's coming from the front, the sail redirects the wind to the back, which propels you. And same if the wind's coming from the side, the sail redirects the wind. While when the sail's coming from the back, the main sails aren't really going to work in that way. So yeah, you put this big parachute out the front and that just captures the wave. Jan just flew his drone by us, which is why we're all laughing. He's a very good drone pilot.
Yeah, but one of the exciting things was I was surprised as to how much life we saw at sea. Because I think when you think of the high seas or when you think of the ocean, you're like, there's so much blue, surely all the life is so diluted, it's rare for you to see anything. But we caught 4 tunas, we saw lots of pods of spinner dolphins, we saw a shark, we saw 2 turtles.
Shoals of fish.
Lots of fish. The boys saw sea snakes.
Yes, we think. It was nighttime, so we don't know for sure. But
Bioluminescence as well.
And that was the most insane thing. At night, you'd come out and turn the lights off, and on the bow of the boat, in front of the boat, where the waves are getting created from the hulls, it would just be lighting up. Like the bioluminescence was insane.
Almost like sparks of bioluminescence or something.
like stars in the water. I think.
So you'd look up and you'd see the parasail, and behind it you'd see the Milky Way and the craziest stars, and you'd look down and there'd be like shooting stars in the water of the bioluminescence.
Kind of like light bluish. It was just so gorgeous. Yeah.
So guys, we've been painting a pretty picture so far of life on the boat. What was something that was a little bit challenging that you guys didn't love so much as well?
Yeah, I felt getting really tired and feeling pretty heavy. Yeah, fatigued. I even got a bit anxious at times in the middle where I guess it was just like not really sure how to structure the day because you just get up and be like, wow, I'm just
You get up, have
out in the blue.
breakfast, read, play some cards, have lunch, play some cards.
The day would be over.
read a bit, have dinner.
Out in the sun a lot as well, like it would be relatively hot. I also found because you have to strap in if you go outside, but there isn't very much space to like move around and feel like you've used up your energy a little bit, even though we're saying we're tired, but there's no way to like get your heart rate up in any way, which means that you can end up feeling a bit weird and cabin fevery sometimes as well.
I did a workout most days, and on the days I didn't, I suffered for it. Like I got so cabin fevery. I just feel not knowing what to do with myself and feeling like everything was too tight and really feeling like I needed to go for a run or go for a walk or like anything.
Yeah.
But it was like really hot and sunny outside, and I'd lost the shade moment where the sail casts the good shade, so I couldn't do, I don't know, push-ups or whatever I do, and I was just like
Although we should mention we went for a swim twice, which was actually like a great release from the confines of the boat. And Jan was the first time like fully stopped the boat and set up the kind of swimming area and like dragged a line, and we kind of got towed behind the boat, and that was kind of
insane.
hectic.
I think we went like 4 knots or something. It like torpedoes your body. Like you're actually getting rinsed.
which is about 8 kilometers an hour, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting dragged through the water. That's right.
But those days were great because, otherwise the boat's constantly moving. So it's not very easy to swim.
Yeah.
But since being an anchor, like guys, we've gotten so good at tricks.
Yeah, oh my
Back
gosh.
flipping, we're back diving, we're front somersaulting, we're doing death dives.
Me and Cam are in a big death dive phase.
Do you explain what that is? Because my mum's horrified right now listening to you guys.
Death dives is a big Instagram or brain rot trend where basically amateur divers dive from like 20, 30 meters. And, you know, a normal dive, you go like head, hands first kind of thing. A death dive, imagine you're like belly flopping. So you're trying to stay as open with your whole body, with your belly to the floor. And then at the last minute, you kind of like tuck in and touch your feet towards your hands. And it looks like you belly flop.
I learned how to do some backwards tricks for the first time. Little story time. I did gymnastics in primary school and I got up to a certain level and then I just kind of had to quit because I was too scared to do like back handsprings, back somersaults, and that's always just been like a mental block for me. And then Dom and Lotta started doing some backwards things and I was like,
You did
I don't
so
know,
well.
it just like, it just came out or something. I went
That's
off
so
and did it
good.
by myself one morning and then I was confident that I could do backwards things. And then I've been trying them. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, Lotta and Beck both got their first back somersaults.
Yeah.
So anyway, this has been quite a wide meander, but pulling it back into kind of some of the difficult things. I think the hardest thing for me, being a little bit seasick all the time, was like not really enjoying food. But then I felt way more sick when I had an empty stomach. So it was kind of like needing to eat a lot, but then kind of digesting food not being the nicest feeling. It's like the feeling just after you've digested the food, that's when you feel the best. But getting to that stage was hard, and it means that food, which is like one of the greatest parts about life, was like a bit dampened for me over the trip.
On the other side, I did really enjoy cooking on the boat for Jan and Felix. Without giving too much personal details about Felix, he had a few dietary requirements that we were working around, which was a fun challenge. And also just working in the kitchen where they have all of these like little extra bits and bobs that keep the pans on the stove and things like that, because there's all these like small design things that you need to do on the boat so that things don't like fall off and like cause, I guess, like big safety hazards. The same with the chessboard halfway through. I didn't realize that it's all magnetic because otherwise everything's just like sliding around and falling off all the time. So it's just like lots of little small interesting details that I noticed over the trip that I was like, yeah, this is not a normal house.
This is, in fact, a seagoing boat.
I think I'd also like to mention, because I'm sure like I can imagine my dad just being like, did you actually do any sailing? Like, we did help pulling up some sails, packing down some sails.
Adjusting sails.
Jan was like telling us how to like look at the navigation, the autopilot, and even he also gave us a little lesson on reading the stars and looking at a sextant and trying to tell your position. And like he did try to give us a little overview of a lot of things, and that was I thought a really cool experience.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Jan's an amazing teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like our watches, which was like we said, you know, at nighttime, sometimes we'd have to look after the boat. And basically how that would work is beforehand, Jan would tell us the things we'd need to watch out for. For example, sometimes there were lots of barrels in the water, so you have to look out for those. Or if the wind changes directions, then the sails need adjusting, or the direction the boat's going needs adjusting. Or there's also certain winds that are too fast for certain sails. So, you know, if you've got to watch out if we've got the parasail up that the winds don't go above 25 k's an hour, things like that. So when we're on watch, we're basically, whatever Jan's told us to look out for, we're just kind of sitting around and looking out for those things.
Every 15 minutes.
But the boat is on autopilot. We're not really like steering the boat ourselves. It's a pretty hands-off job, but also at the same time we learnt about what you need to keep an eye out for.
And I think one of my highlights was every afternoon, evening at 5:36, we all came out the front and had a cold drink and watched the sun go down straight ahead because we were going exactly west. And so we'd see the sun go down and we'd wait for the green flash, which we didn't really see. But every day we were sitting there and it was just such a nice routine of coming out at that time and sitting together no matter what we'd kind of been bustling off and doing that day.
Everyone together, just like a quiet moment, a beautiful, like, you know, always amazing sunsets as well. I think definitely my highlight, just those sunset evenings.
Oh, also, started eating fish for the first time in a long time, which was a big news.
Something that I really want to tell everybody. So we caught a couple of fish, right? And one of them was a pretty big tuna.
9 kilo tuna?
8 or 9 kilo tuna.
8 kilo, yeah.
And Dom was filleting it because Jan also taught us how to fillet it. Dom skinned the fish and I made fish leather from the skin. And I'm really proud of it. And I think everybody should do it if they're caught a fish, because it's another way to utilize everything from the fish. And fish leather is actually so cool. It's like really tough. You could totally make cool things out of it, like a money bag or a belt or...
I think we should give a little photo update to people later once you've made that into something, because it is very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
All right, we're going to have a very special little segment in this potty, Yarning with Jan. All right, Jan,
Dom, hey.
how are you going?
I'm fine. I'm tired, but fine.
Jan's been our skipper this journey and has been an absolutely huge part of our journey, and has made us feel so welcome, and I've learnt so much from him, and he's got lots of stories to tell, and he's a very interesting fellow. So Jan, how did you come around to sailing the world?
I started sailing when I was about 10 years old, so it was around 1986. Yeah, I'm old. And I was sailing a dinghy, and I just figured out you hoist the sail and the boat just continues moving, effortlessly, silent. And that was the moment where I thought, I once need to sail around the world. And I pursued this dream intensively for the last about 25 years. And I've been saving all my money since. I prepared everything that I could prepare. I mean, saving money, doing licenses. I became sailing teacher, everything totally focused on being able to do this tour.
Wow, you're living your own dream. That's incredible. And you've really done it. Us being here on the Mulan, Jan's boat, it's been amazing. And the amount of preparation, the amount of knowledge Jan has put into this dream is crazy. You wouldn't believe how complex the system of the boat is, and the work that goes into it. But
20 years.
20 years. Wow. Jan, can you share a couple of your favorite moments on sea?
Oh, that's so hard, you know. I mean, the best thing about this tour for me is the community. All the people sailing together with us, the people around us. I mean, all the people that you meet are very, very good people. Everyone who's sailing like this, they're no blah, blah people. I mean, they really do as they say. Everyone who's sailing like this is very helpful, giving to help, but also willing to receive help. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Also, don't find stupid people on sailing boats like this. Yeah. And you only find very cool and nice people when you're sailing. So this is, for me, the biggest highlight, the community, the people around. Besides that, I really enjoy doing passages. I like to be on the boat. I just like to see the boat moving on. And even after a 3-week passage, I'm not really much in a hurry to arrive. I could continue. I just could continue sailing. I mean, food comes to an end earlier or later, and we are following deadlines. But besides that, I just like sailing and seeing different places. And yeah, it's the whole package. But first of all, it's really the people around you.
It is a completely different world to anything that we have ever experienced. So thank you for letting us have a little peek into your world. It's truly an amazing lifestyle. I think we were, took a little while to get used to being on the boat and the movements and the sun and all the things that come along with it. But yeah, you get absolutely amazing moments on the boat.
Yeah, same for me. I really enjoyed the time with you guys. You were a great crew. And also, when saying about the people, I really like to have other people on board giving me new insights. And, I've got changing crews, like you were now as a larger crew, the youngest. I had younger people on board, but also much older people, CEOs, consultants, everything, and entrepreneurs, and everyone has got great stories to tell. When you're on a boat, you cannot escape. So you really get to know the people much, much better than you would do in a normal life. And you get the discussions get deeper, and I also really enjoy that.
Great, thanks, Jan. Well, final question. Considering the prizes that we won last night, in the context of that, are we the best crew that you've ever had?
You're really, really, really good. No, we had so much fun. Not in terms of sailing skills, but
So true.
yeah,
We had
I
absolutely
had
zero.
serious sailors on board with us who did big boat races. So regarding to sailing skills, for sure not. But for the fun, we had so much fun here on board. We had really great time. Thanks a lot for the tour with me.
Thanks, Alan. Alrighty, so after that little chat with Jan, thanks Jan, just to provide a bit more context, so Mum and Dad, you'd be happy to hear that we won some prizes. So last time we had the craziest night. It was like a big banquet award ceremony for the part of the rally and run by the marina, and it was insane. So many performances, like dancers and whole percussion dancer group came out, and we won, firstly, second prize for the catamaran division, which was crazy. So we all ran up there and received a little gift. And also, we also won, look, it wasn't exactly called this, but we're calling it the Happiest Crew Award. So we're pretty stoked.
Now we'll hit our favourite new segment, brick number 1. What is brick number 1, you might ask? Well, basically, if you picture a brick and you picture a human and you picture what a hybrid between those two things would be, that's brick number 1. Someone who inside their head where there should be brains, there's only bricks.
We've got a brick hierarchy and it's a constant battle to stay below number 1.
Brick number 1 is the most brick.
And let me tell you,
we have
there's
some pretty good contenders.
big bricks in this group, I gotta say.
Yeah, this really brought it out, this sailing trip.
The sailing trip has been so funny. So first, I would like to mention some things to honour Beck.
Thank you very much.
Are you nominating Beck officially?
Well, I'm going to just add some stories to the fire. So firstly, Beck chronically forgot to clip in with her life vest. Well,
You mean
not chronically.
twice, probably.
Twice forgot to clip in, including when we were like moving, like motoring or sailing. It's so paramount that we clip in because you fall off the boat and you could just be gone.
Yeah, like especially when we have, like the parasailer, for example, that can take 10, 15, 20 minutes to take down.
And you can't turn around before
You
that.
can't turn around before that. You're maybe dead if you fall off the boat.
That's one thing. What else did Beck do?
Beck also.
I was wondering if there's anything else.
So at the beginning of the trip, Jan took all of our passports and put it in a grab bag
Oh,
in
yeah.
case, you know, worst case scenario, we had to leave the boat or something like that. So we put all of our passports in there. And at some point during the trip, Beck comes out to Cam with a white face, ghostly. She's like, Cam, help me find my passport. I think I lost my passport.
It was like, Cam, come with me.
No, it was even better than that. She comes out, she's like, Cam, I need you to come downstairs with me. Like, super serious. And I come down and our room is like torn apart. Like there's stuff everywhere, like bags are everywhere. She's like, I can't find my passport. What am I gonna do? And I was like, Jan has your passport.
5 days at sea and I barely remembered anything from land.
There is one more thing. I was just washing the dishes, and
This is brutal hearing it in succession as well. I want to move on to other people after this.
I was just doing the dishes, and Beck was like trying to charge her iPad, and she was like, "Oh, does this work?" And she just goes like fiddling around with this electronics kind of panel, and she's like sees this button that says electronics. She's like, "Oh, that's it," and she like turns it.
It's got like a location, like little
It's got a
beacon dot
picture
on it.
of some kind. I'm reading the words clearly.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, that'll turn on the charging." The son Felix jumps and he's like, "No!" And like Becca just turned off the autopilot, and the boat just starts swinging like.
Spinning in a circle.
So to be fair, I have to say I did not feel it at all, which is probably even more worrying.
Yeah.
And like
But that's like immediately go
Felix
get
is kind of
Jan.
freaking
Yeah.
out, has to go get Jan, and Jan comes up and it's like, "Oh shit!" And then it goes and has to fix everything and turns the boat around completely 180 degrees.
He was completely serene though. He was like, I am coming to solve the emergency.
Yeah.
5 minutes at the helm.
I guess if it was with the parasail, it would have been pretty bad, hey. Anyway, that was pretty bricked. That was pretty funny.
Thank you guys for that lovely roll call.
Just kept kind of like inspiring new memories.
I was like, I really want to feature in this segment.
I have some bad ones coming my way. So before that happens, I want to delay that as much as possible.
Oh.
So I'm gonna nominate Dom real quick. And we have to cast our eyes back.
You're nominating me as brick number 1. I'm definitely brick number 4 out of this group at the moment.
You would not believe what he did. This is back when we were on our first leg, driving up in the rental car. And,
this is hailing back to ancient times. This is long gone. This is history. You've missed the boat.
You can't outlive this, Dom.
It is a highlight.
So we were with Dom's brother Ari as well. And Ari's in the car and Dom grabs Ari's legs and starts dragging him
Classic
out of the
brother
car.
shenanigans, yeah.
Just brother shenanigans. And then Ari grabs onto the handle on top of the door with both hands, and then Dom
Yanks him.
yanking him up. So
Like,
his
lifts
whole
him out.
body
He's
comes
like-
up like
1.5 meters above the ground. He's just like straight, hanging onto the inside car handle with his hands, and Dom's dragging his legs on the other side. And then, obviously,
It can't hold the weight of a full man.
the car handle snaps, and Ari slaps the ground back flat.
like from 1.5 meters.
It's insane. I don't know what's more bricked, like the fact that Ari could have like died, or the fact that you damaged a car rental, which you had $4,000 theoretically in the bond.
Yeah.
And I was very stressed as we were coming back. I think maybe we all were. I think I was particularly stressed about, are we going to be okay with this like handle situation?
Yeah, I think all I'm saying, Ari was fine, the car handle was fine. What's the problem? That's all I'm saying.
Shit, have we got any other dirty Dom?
You got nothing.
How is Dom sliding under the radar right now?
But we do have stuff on cam.
Can I please tell this one? It's just the funniest shit ever. We were like, Jan was like, come and see the bioluminescence. And we all like ran out onto the netting and on the bow, and there was beautiful bioluminescence kind of popping up. And we're all lying down face forward, like kind of staring into the ocean. After a little while, I just heard this hiss behind me. And I just like whip around.
And Cam's like, fuck.
And I was like, is the tires of the boat going down? Like, what's happening?
The tires?
I don't know, my head was doing crazy things. But look around and Cam's just like sitting there, so bricked, ashen-faced, like paralyzed in shock. And he's accidentally released his like state-of-the-art life jacket. And it's like completely blown up, and he's just like shocked.
Like an airbag or something.
Yeah, complete airbag around him, and his bloody EPIRB beacon started going off and like beeping, and he's just freaking out.
And it's insane because Jan managed to turn off the signaling of the EPIRB in like 20 seconds
It was
flat.
all stations go after that.
Despite that, in that time, like within a minute or two, the owner of the life vest got a call from marine rescue in Germany, Indonesia, and Australia. It's insane. And if he hadn't said false alarm without knowing that it was a false alarm, if he hadn't said that, there'd be helicopters out trying to find
The
Cam.
cavalry would be coming out.
And
It would've been
I
insane.
would have been stuck with like a
Massive
50,
bill.
60, $70,000 like rescue bill for a false alarm.
Actually,
Like the man overboard emergency beacon, which, by the way, normal life jackets don't have the international call out. It's usually just the local emergency. But Cam's life jacket was like especially rigged and had like satellite connection, so was calling to all the big players out there.
Yeah, so because Jan didn't have enough life jackets for all of us, so he borrowed 2 from a friend who's also in this World Arc Rally, which is a rally of boats sailing around the world. And this other boat he borrowed it from, Jan always says money is no issue for them. Like they they've got all the most expensive gear you could possibly have, including this life jacket that doesn't just alert the nearby boats, it, sends out a full EPIRB signal to send the cavalry in.
Amazing in an actual emergency.
but not good there. Yeah, so what had happened basically is I was lying face down on the trampoline, on the netting, and as I was moving around going, oh, wow, bioluminescence, there's a manual release cord and it got tangled up and then the thing went off. I genuinely was so shocked. I couldn't move. Hey, I was just like, what is going on? This thing's like blown up all around my head.
It just looked like a brick.
He was shook for a hot second there.
Because the life jacket is actually quite thin. Like, they don't actually stick, like, when they're not blown up. So when they're blown up, he was completely...
Complete transformation. But it was, to be fair, an easy mistake to make. In order to come full circle on this segment, Lotta, of course, did not escape some bricky moments. Again, Lotta ascends from the cabin one morning. It was like the last morning, I would say, before we arrived or something, looking extremely embarrassed. And she says to Jan, how do you normally go about fixing a blocked toilet? Lotta did a massive dump in the toilet, couldn't flush it properly, and had basically created a plumbing disaster.
By the way, she was like, came in, she was like, Dom, I need your help. Like, she's like, come here. She's like, I'm screwed up. Like, I did a big one.
It's so embarrassing.
And she had to get Jan, the skipper, to help.
Poor Jan.
To be fair, the plumbing is like really like narrow on the boat, and we never chuck toilet paper in the toilet, stuff like that. And I didn't even do that, which is different to Cam and Beck, who had to fish toilet paper out of the toilet bowl a number of times.
Yeah, that was pretty humbling.
Also, Cam has slept through his only morning shift by 1.5 hours.
That was like some backup ammo.
Guys, wrapping it up, who's brick number one?
I'm casting my votes on... I really want to say Cam, but I've got to say Beck for this segment.
I gotta say Beck as well, just because I don't want it to be me.
So we're
and
tied.
I did one thing, Beck did like 3 things.
It is true. I actually might change my pointing finger at Beck as well. It was very funny.
Wait. Final last minute throw at Dom. Dom was driving the dinghy, the small boat, to shore, and we're going towards the jetty, and Dom's driving, and Jan says, okay, neutral now, no more gas. No more gas. And so we're just slowly drifting towards the jetty, as we should be. And then Dom just randomly just gives it a full throttle of gas, and we just
slam into it.
Jetty. And Jan has to like save the boat by like sacrificing his body.
Okay, it wasn't that hectic. It was like a mediocre bump, I'd say. And then Jan made me go do dinghy practice afterwards.
You had to clock up your hours.
I had to go do some solo training.
But overall, I think
Beck's
number 1.
Nominated.
I can't believe I got away with that.
You were so close. Let me tell you that.
I want to protest, but I also felt like a massive brick when I was like spinning the boat. So I kind of feel like I do deserve it as well.
Next section, book recommendations, because we are voracious readers.
Yes, we've been reading a whole bunch of things. We have more time for reading now than probably our usual lives. So we don't want to overload people with too many book recommendations, but we're very excited about it, so we'll put some more in the show notes if you want to look into anything more that we're suggesting, but we're just going to keep it to 3 recommendations for now. Me first. When we were still doing our road trip, I read an amazing novel by Diana Reid, Love and Virtue. I don't know if many people have heard of her. The way that I've been talking about it is she reminds me almost of an Australian Sally Rooney. So she writes a lot about relationships and implicitly also about class and things like that. I found it really interesting and such a page turner. So that's, a really good fiction book.
I just wanted to mention a book that I also read a while ago, which I think is really important to consider when doing this crossing. It's No Friend But the Mountains by Behrouz Boochani. It's this beautifully poetic book written by Behrouz from imprisonment on Manus Island. So it starts with him crossing the same sea we crossed in the other direction, but in completely different circumstances, because he's a Kurdish refugee and is desperately trying to get somewhere safe to Australia. And so he sells everything he owns to try and get a passage on a people smuggler boat. And they almost die and drown on this crossing. Like, the boat is leaking, nobody's sleeping, everybody's starving, there's families with kids. It's like just completely different to our experience. And in the end, while their boat is sinking, they get picked up by a cargo ship, and then the Border Force, Australian Border Force, come in, pick them up, bring them to Christmas Island, then to Manus Island, where he subsequently stays imprisoned indefinitely for 7 years. So it's absolutely horrific, and it's completely confronting to know that our government partakes in such breaches of human rights. And I think it's a really important thing to consider when crossing the ocean with such privilege, knowing that so many people have crossed the ocean not because it's a pleasure ride for them, but because it's a life or death situation.
Yeah, they feel like they need to. Just to clarify something, so when you say indefinitely for 7 years, you mean he didn't know how long he was going to stay in there, and it ended up being 7 years.
Yeah.
But he had no clue.
He had no clue. And he was not charged on anything. He wasn't imprisoned on a charge. He was held in detention without a charge.
Which, I'm not an expert on international law, but that does sound illegal.
Oh, it
Yeah?
totally is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a breach of human rights.
And that's a system that has bipartisan support in Australia as well.
So, thought we should talk about that.
All right, NGO options. We thought it was prudent to donate to Sea Shepherd, considering they are the great protector of our oceans. Yeah, they do amazing work. Lotta, do you want to talk a little bit about Sea Shepherd?
Basically, their mission is to protect the oceans at all costs. So they have had huge anti-whaling campaigns where they have been tracking down Japanese whaling ships in Antarctic waters. They do like community-based stuff where they do beach cleanups and awareness, and they've just been one of the biggest activist forces on the ocean to protect the ocean from overfishing, from whaling, and from illegal and environmentally devastating things that happen in the oceans. They're really, really, really cool. I brought a t-shirt from them on this trip, which goes to show how important it is, because I only brought 3 t-shirts. So yeah, you should donate to them, because we will.
Usually we'll be finishing group episodes, or one of the last things we'll do in a group episode is talk about what we know about the next country, our expectations, and so on. But we actually covered that in the last episode, so we'll skip that and do that in our next group episode.
Instead of our usual outro, we will have something pretty special to share with you. We will be playing a pretty amateur song that we wrote. Well, that our skipper Jan wrote and we helped perform. It's a rewriting of Listen to Your Heart, but instead you got to listen to your boat.
If you don't hear from us, we are dead, detained, or distracted.
The boat is moving, so you will hear some noise. Some noise is good, just like the dolphins and waves. To tell the truth, some noise shivers my spine. Listen to your boat, otherwise listen to your boat. It is talking to you. Listen to your boat. There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. Listen to your boat. Before the sheets are squeaking, which means we have shaved. The boom is banging, so the gooseneck might break. Flapping sails, that's not good too. Listen to your boat, or it will break. The rod is talking to you. Listen to your boat. There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. Listen to your boat. Before The rod is banging, so the bearing is due. The backdrop's creaking, so it needs tension too. The AIS alarm holds out of the blue. Run to the helm, or the crash. Listen to your boat, it is talking to you. Listen to your boat, there's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. Listen to your boat before out of pride screaming, so it may need some lube. The winch is squeaking, so it needs some lube too. The freezer's defrost sends an alarm at you. Listen to your boat before. Listen to your boat, it is talking to you. Listen to your boat, there's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. Listen to your boat before. Listen to your boat, it is talking to you. Listen to your boat, there's nothing else you can do. I know where you're going, and I don't know why. Listen to your boat before.